Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of some F1 2020 career mode with Red Bull. Today we are doing episode number 30, so we actually I need to record 8 more episodes, and then 9 actually. Then we would have actually moved ahead and made it the longest running driver career mode on this channel, using the career mode gameplay. Obviously the modest series have gone more, but basically we've got a little bit of time between the Italian and the Japanese Grand Prix in this series, so I had a look at where we could improve our car, and what I didn't realise at this moment in time when I was doing the upgrades, but then found out look at the end of the race, we've actually done all the weight reduction upgrades, so it's not looking great if we've done all of them, and yet the pace still hasn't been there from the previous 2 episodes. Hopefully we can go a little bit better today at Suzuka, but we're going to make a couple of there. You can see we're putting lots of minor AERO upgrades. We're going to rush them as well, see if this front cascades comes in, and we'll probably try and look at the rear one as well. The 2 down below in the middle there are both DRS upgrades, and I'm not sure if we really need them. We might do the minor one, but we'll see if the main one, because they're so R&D points, it's so expensive in this driver career mode that it's not really there. But before we get to the Japanese Grand Prix, we have to go to Brazil for an invitational event. In none other than Nigel Mansell's Williams car, the famous blue and yellow livery, sponsored by Canon, of course, as well. This is the 92 Williams, nice V10 as well, and basically we had to do just 3 laps of Brazil, simple stuff. Even I could do that. I could probably get this one done. Although, to be fair, we do actually only cross the line with 8 seconds left, so I mean, yes, that's probably about me doing it okay. But we've got these rear diffuser that upgrade that's going to come in. We're going to try and rush that in time for the US Grand Prix. There's a little bit of time again between the Japanese and the US Grand Prix, so if it does fail, then we'll be able to repurchase it for the next episode next week. But yes, let's move now to the 14th round of the season. We've only got 3 rounds left to go here at Japan, and then we've got USA and Brazil, and you can see that literally everybody has been doing some sort of upgrades. But if you're Ferrari, that pretty much is the stagnant usual upgrade that they've been applying for the past couple of races. Mercedes pretty much put on the same amount of upgrades that we do. Williams as well has closed up, so that's good for Williams. I mean, they're ahead of Haas in the drivers, thanks to Danny Kvyat and that weird fifth place that he had, not third, that he had, sixth place, not fifth, that he had at the Italian Grand Prix last week. But yes, McLaren as well, not really doing much. They're the bottom end of the midfield, not the top where they really want to be. Renault look like the better actually, instead of AlphaTauri, but we'll see what they can do. All of those teams very close together in the constructors. We'll see at the end of the Grand Prix.
Skipping a lot of practice sessions lately. Keep in mind that practice is useful to get used to the track, improve your car setups, and also helps us gather data for car development. Make sure you don't jeopardize your results by taking these sessions too lightly.
Oh, shut up, Carl. Nobody asked your opinion on practice sessions. No, I know what he's going on about. I do all of my if you've watched my practice session little guide that I did, then you will know that I do all of my practice sessions in practice programs in FP1 and FP2, not FP3, because you have to use the race gearbox, so that's why I decided not to do that. But anyway, moving to our lap, it's another pathetic lap. We're slowest of all except the Williams. We are about 4 tenths up, but that's not enough. I doubt that's going to be enough to be able to get ahead of that. We could see the reason Verstappen are making that Haas. If Haas had investment, I think they got the drivers, they got the lineup. They just need to invest R&D points in their car, and they're just not doing it. So yes, obviously I also put a customised livery on that car as well, in case you haven't seen it. But we're coming across the line. We're almost 6 tenths up. We lose a little bit of time out the final corner, but then we gain a little bit back on the straight. And it's only going to be 14th place as well, outside the top 10 again. This can't be going on, so I decided for the race, I've had enough. We're going to move this down to 97 AI, not 98. It appears that we're not at the same level as where we were around Austria and where was it as well, where we won the Grand Prix.
We come to you live today from the Mie Prefecture in the south of Japan's Honshu Island for a race that has seen many title deciders over the years. Some simple, some controversial, but all contributing to a legacy that makes the Japanese Grand Prix an indispensable stop in any Formula One season. A lap of this historic racetrack covers 3.6 miles, and it's the only time during the season that we race on a figure-of-8 racetrack. The drivers can expect some intense G-forces through the 18 corners on offer here as they experience some of the highest average apex speeds on the Formula One calendar. And keep an eye out for overtakes going into the final chicane. And with me as usual is Anthony Davidson. So, let's briefly discuss Lewis Hamilton. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday puts him on pole, just edging out Alexander Albon, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Sainz, Hamilton, Esteban Ocon, and Magnussen, Bottas, Gasly, Vettel, they've taken a grid penalty, and Lando Norris, Stroll, Perez, a Red Bull, and Ricciardo, Giovinazzi, Russell, Max Verstappen, and Nick de Vries, Kvyat, and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing, as we head to trackside for today's race.
This is our engine supplier's home Grand Prix. Let's give them a race worth watching.
Lots of engine. We've missed out. We could have had a great qualifying position, and yet we've only moved up one place because everybody has, because of our poor qualifying. Still, we're going to do the alternative strategy, medium to softs, as far as the lights come on. We'll see what we can do. Ricciardo starts behind us. Lights out and away we go for the Japanese Grand Prix. It's a great start. We're going to head of Perez there. We're going to try and get around the Stroll. Yes, eventually decides to give us space. Can we get ahead of Gasly? Yes, we can. We're going to squeeze him out here on the right. Go side by side through this section and squeeze him out and make sure that he doesn't go through side by side as Vettel and Bottas continue to go side by side. Stroll had a little look at us as well, but we're not going to close the door on him. Move later to lap 1. We're going to go down the inside of Bottas. We're just going to be a nuisance at this early stage. We're obviously on the alternative strategy compared to everybody else, so we're going to be slower through this first stage, and then we're going to turn up the pace through the second stage and be absolutely rapid towards the end of the Grand Prix, hopefully. But yes, Carlos Sainz, who somehow managed to qualify third in the third slowest car, overtook Albon on the start, but took Albon quite a few laps to get back in front of Sainz, but eventually does, and you can see there's a little bit of a train. Vettel decides to come in early, as does Sainz, and there's a Mercedes there. There's the Renault of Ocon as well is also, I'm not sure how much that pace of Ocon has, as we get a little bit held in the pits for Vettel, who comes out ahead of Carlos Sainz. So Carlos will be fuming there because he's been jumped in the pits by the Ferrari, and the man he's actually replacing in real life. For us, it's an average stop, 2.4 seconds, not bad from the team. We'll definitely take more of that into 2, but we're starting to ramp it up now, moving to lap 8. We set the fastest purple in sector 2 and 3. Lando Norris has set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. We're going to go out round the outside of Carlos Sainz. It will turn to the inside for the next corner. We're going to hanging out to dry, and that's a lovely move. All caused by Sainz locking up, not really going back, starting to go backwards in this Grand Prix as we trying to latch onto Magnussen now as well. Lovely little move there, and up into what is P7, so we're gaining positions. Now next up is Magnussen. Can we make this? Can we get even Ocon and Hamilton? And that's the podium that we've got there. We'll see. As Kevin Magnussen sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. I mean, we've been catching him, but clearly Magnussen's been... I mean, I know that AlphaTauri is pretty fast on a straight line. As we go round the outside, Magnussen lots up, and it's pretty much a carbon copy of the move we made on Carlos Sainz, where 130R in the final corner hasn't really been working out. We've had to make turn 1, and which clearly Vettel has some problem now, and we breezed past him going on to the final lap and up into P5. But I reckon a couple more laps we could have had Hamilton and Ocon, and probably Albon as well. He's just not that too far away, so the pace is there. It's just the fact that the qualifying wasn't today. So P5, good recovery drive, and we're going to 2 races there now, the final 2 races, and things are looking up. We got drive of the day as well, for a great drive from 13th to 5th on the grid as well. But Albon, I don't know how did... Look, the fact that he took them several laps, he wasn't really able to challenge Leclerc, who was absolutely mighty in a world of his own at the front. I know that was the fact that Sainz was a rolling roadblock, and he did manage to catch up, but Leclerc was safe, and that's really where Albon has fell down. This is the team's first podium as well since I won in Austria, I think it was. We won in Austria, and Azerbaijan was the other place we won. Vettel as well, good to finish up in. I think Vettel is going to be our main rival towards the end of this season. He's going to be the man we're going to be aiming for in the standings. And speaking of the standings, we move within 3 points of him, so he's going to be there. Bottas would be a bonus if we can get third, but he's a little bit too far out of the way. We've got a 15-point sway there. I think we can definitely roll it out with P4 to round out the season. Albon is definitely not going to catch us, but unfortunately that is pretty much, well, it's pretty much Charles Leclerc's championship to lose now. He's won a couple more races. He's won a couple of races this year. The constructors is a lot closer. Ferrari only lead from Mercedes, so we're pretty much out of it. We've got 3 teams on 111 points, just to show how close the midfield is. McLaren move ahead of Williams as well into daylight, so bad for Williams there, but I guess they were only really challenging for Haas as well.
You made it look easy. You were cutting your way through the field during the
I
race.
love that overtake. The overtakes around the outside were absolutely brilliant. They felt brilliant as well.
How do you feel the competition is for you this season?
I think if we could get our qualifying, then it will be very juicy. Season 3
Your
will
teammate
definitely be
had
good.
a great race today and was rewarded with a podium. Do you have any comments on the performance?
I mean, I've already commented about him, but basically,
It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it?
well, that's the thing. We don't want to be the person to back down. Things happen, etc., etc.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, but what I was saying about Albon is that yes, he may have had second place today, but when I'm not there or we're not there, we need the race wins. So the fact that we've got the fastest car and we haven't won since Austria is a little bit concerning. Albon hasn't won for ages. Despite the fact we're having this lull, we're still there. The rear anyway, looking at R&D, the rear diffuser upgrade failed, so we'll repurchase that for the next season. And then we'll probably, I'm favoriting there's some weight redistribution upgrade, but we haven't quite got enough R&D points for that. I'm favouriting also a brakes upgrade. That would probably give us a little bit better cornering speed, and then maybe go for that engine power upgrade. But again, weight redistribution will probably be where we go with this. It's a little bit weird with the tree. We sort of maxed up getting there to the AERO side of it as well and starting to max out. I expect by the time we get to the end of season 3 there will be an R&D regulation change, but we'll see what happens goes on with there as Leclerc leads there. He's won 4 races this season as well. You see there that we've only, last podium for us was back at Austria when we had that really good spell of 5 podiums in 5 races from Monaco to Austria, and haven't really been there since, although we have had a couple of good comeback drives in Hungary, Italy and Japan, where we've had a bad qualifying and then made it up. Albon, I mean, this is his best point since France, so yes, I'm going to leave it there for today's video. If you have enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel for you. See more episodes of the F1 2020 Career Mode as they come out next week with Red Bull around the United States, maybe Brazil. We'll see what happens. I'd just like to point out here also average grid is 12th on the grid, so that shows how poor it is. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.